This is Dropping Hints.
I'm Alex.
I'm Silas.
In this podcast, you'll catch a glimpse of our everyday conversations. And we're back. What you got there, Silas?
You sound a little contrived tonight.
I don't know. I'm not the one waving a Lego tie-wing fighter in the air.
Does it make you uncomfortable being in front of so few people?
No, but your lack of restraint is making me a little uncomfortable.
I got a question for you.
Why are you playing with the Lego?
Well, what constitutes playing with a Lego? That's my question.
You mean the legal definition of playing with a Lego? Because I have no idea.
Not that that would ever be something that would come up in a court of law or anything like that. I mean, maybe.
What would the crime be?
Something involving drugs, I'm sure.
This guy was playing with Legos while he did drugs.
I was thinking more like, maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, okay. But, okay, so you were just waving this tie-wing fighter around.
Yes, I
feel like
TIE fighter.
all the Lego memories just came flooding
Legos.
back.
All the, Some of them are good, some of them are not.
Some of the memories or the Legos? Or both?
Both. Primarily
the memories of the Legos.
Primarily the Legos themselves. Some of them, especially in the later formative years, were just not good.
Yeah. Well, when we were growing up and when we were playing with Legos, when it was legal for us to be playing with Legos because we fit the age category on the box.
Yeah, before the police would kick our door in.
When it said it's like 7 to 14 years on this Lego.
Some of them say 7 to 99.
When we fit that age category, those Legos were pretty awesome.
Legos? Don't pretend like you didn't hear that.
Yeah. Let us know if you play with Legos too.
Legos. Okay.
That's like Legolas, but Legos.
Legless. Legless Legos.
We had those too.
What were we talking about?
Legos and how we used to...
Legos and how we used... Yeah.
We were Lego gazillionaires.
Cajillionaires.
Yes.
If you thought that you were cool...
Freaking tillionaires.
The freaking tillionaires. You heard it here. We were like top of the food chain when it came to Legos because we knew all about them. We had all of the ones that there was to have, especially Star Wars Legos. Star Wars Legos were just... As
you just like... just cock the Legos shut like...
The Star Wars... I was gonna say... The Legos, the Star Wars Legos were by far their biggest franchised option.
Yeah.
But I think that Legos today are way overpriced.
How overpriced?
Freaking 7.8 cents a piece overpriced.
Let's go find out.
We glanced at a couple beforehand, but we didn't want to...
Let's go to lego.com. Oh, look, it has saved for some reason.
We didn't want to like get too into it because we had some genuine reactions and we were like, we gotta save this.
So right off the bat, their main page, it tells me that I should never stop playing.
Never stop playing, and then it's
so
Lego shoes. But
so I don't know if legally I can, if I have grounds to ever stop playing with Legos.
That would be a question for the Legal Eagle on YouTube.
Legal Eagle, if you're out there and listening to this, for whatever reason, answer this question.
Right.
All right. Well, let's see. What's
Let's go to the themes. Yeah, we'll go to
themes.
Star Wars Legos.
They got architecture Legos.
Architecture.
I feel like I would play with those nowadays.
Oh, you would? Those are not meant for playing. Those are just meant for building.
Let's see what they look like.
See, the thing though is building and playing the same thing.
They have the Lego White House, the Lego Empire State Building.
Wait. Oh, okay. I have a smaller version of the Empire State
Statue of
Building.
Liberty. Okay, so these are just
these are like cityscapes.
Yeah.
Which are really cool. They're pretty neat. They used to have the Sydney Opera House.
I thought they were going to be like huge.
No.
These are tiny.
Yeah, these things are like the size of a keyboard.
Yeah, I can just tell looking at it.
Yeah. where Star Wars is right there.
Star Wars.
Star
Ooh,
War.
They also got Stranger Things.
They have
Legos.
one Stranger Things Lego. I sometimes check in with the Lego store every now and again just to keep up to an idea. I saw the first season. People said it was like the greatest thing in the world.
Ooh, they got this A-Wing. Oh,
what are you gonna do?
Oh, that's 200.
But that's a UCS.
What does that mean?
I set you up for it.
You know Lego
You don't
terms.
know what UCS means?
Is that a university?
University of Central Salisbury. UCS is Ultimate Collector's Series, Star Wars things. So I have the UCS R2-D2, stands 11 inches tall, 6 inches wide, I'd wager. Retractable third foot, just like the real R2-D2. And it doesn't beep or anything like that.
So it's not like the real R2-D2.
It's not like exactly like the real R2-D2. It's much smaller, but it's really, really high detail, really cool looking. The other UCS sets, of course, include the $800.
Is this UCS?
No, well, wait. Anything that has this plaque, sometimes, not everything, but sometimes this plaque that they put on the Star Wars Legos is like the indication of it being UCS.
And it's called The Child.
The Child.
The Child.
For those who are listening online, we're
what's
looking at
it
Lego
holding?
Baby Yoda.
I don't know.
No, he's holding. Remember in the only season that's out, season 1, that he
not for long.
Not for long. I mean, it's basically out now.
We're basically just plugging The Mandalorian right now.
Sponsorship
Mandalorian,
incoming.
if you're out there,
Pedro Pascal, listen to us.
Yeah,
that's the actor who plays the Mandalorian. He's holding the little. The Baby Yoda is holding the.
Except
what
it's
do they
the
call
child.
It? The child is holding the gear shift.
Right. Yeah. On his ship.
Spaceship. Yeah,
he took the knob off the lever.
The knob off and gives it to him, teething for it, and probably chokes on it. Just
except he,
uses
the
very
Force.
Inhumane. Yeah.
So this one is 10 plus. So there's no age limit on this one. You can be.
There's an age restriction on this one.
Yes, there's a minimum.
Legos. That's crazy.
I didn't know they made those.
1,073 pieces.
There's 1,073 pieces, and it's $80.
See, the price per piece is much lower on this one.
I feel like when we got our Lego sets, you got more pieces for less money. And we would have these like giant sets that would come in boxes as big as this desk, right? And although they were pretty expensive, they weren't comparatively as expensive as they are now.
No,
I don't know what happened.
I wonder if it's listed here. Well, search up the Death Star. Find the Death Star.
Ooh, okay.
I bought the Death Star. I bought with my own money the Death Star, which was $400 at the time.
Wow,
that it was
$400.
And now
I don't see.
They hiked up the price.
Oh, they got a Star Destroyer.
I don't think they sell it anymore on Lego.com, but they hiked up the price of the actual Death Star to like $600. Yeah. So, and it was exactly the same set, and they hiked it up to $600.
Yeah, so, I don't think they have Death Star.
So Lego inflation is a thing, and it's clearly been racking the economy for decades.
I don't feel like Legos are as popular as they were back then.
Really?
I don't.
What
I feel
children do you interact with that make you think that?
All the kids who are like into video games and playing on like phones and computers, like they don't. I feel like no one appreciates this.
But I mean, do keep in mind they have like Legos based off of all that content too.
Yeah, they do, and that's probably how they can stay afloat in these. But I don't know. Talking to like some of the younger kids, in our circle, in our network, like
our inner circle of kids.
We don't have an inner circle. No. But just talking to kids in general, it's like I never hear any of them mention, I like Legos or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, I've never brought it up.
So I would resonate with that.
But
yeah, I don't know.
I've never thought about it too much lately, but I mean, they just...
What's classic?
Classic is like just literal pieces.
That's dumb. It's just pieces.
It's like classic, like as in like before Lego did like, merchandising and
you
licensing.
can get yourself a gray base plate.
Gray base plate. I have 2 of those. Yeah.
You can get yourself a green base plate.
Don't have one of those, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we would.
I mean,
how we would do Legos is we would get our Lego sets. Okay, so only you, me, and Ethan were into Legos. The girls, they didn't. No, whatever.
I mean, Gus and Savannah. Yeah. I almost said Gus and Travis. Gus and Savannah were not.
Who knows if Travis was into it or not? I don't know.
Freaking, we'll never know.
But, so we would always get Legos, and you'd build the set. You'd build whatever it was with the instructions. I tended to not use the instructions.
Right, you little freaking engineer.
But I just looked at the picture and then did it off the picture. And sometimes I'd have leftover pieces. I'm like, great. Maybe then I look at the instructions. But we would build it, and then we'd keep it separate from the rest of our Lego bins, I guess, for a while. But then eventually all the pieces would just migrate, and we'd just collect them in these giant boxes.
Yeah, after a long enough time, for some reason, like you have so many sets, and like you can't physically, like there's no space to store them all, so you have to like start breaking them down when you're getting 4 Legos every
Christmas,
birthday and Christmas.
Yep.
Then it's like,
and up until recently I think you were still getting Legos for holidays.
I got the last year I received Legos was 2012. I was like 13. I had turned 13 that year.
Really? That long ago?
That was the last year. I mean, it's 2020. Think about that.
Yeah, I thought it was more recent. I thought it was like 2016.
Who would have given me a Lego in 2016?
I don't know.
Probably Chuck and Sandy.
Maybe.
Aunt and uncle, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what was I talking about?
I don't know.
No,
but we would end up with just boxes of Legos.
Yeah, I still have them.
Yeah.
In my womb, I almost said because I made that joke earlier. In my womb, in my room, I still have them, and I made a story about the minifigures. Holy crap! It was January. That was a long time ago.
That was
Props
before,
if you remember the story.
That was before a lot of things happened.
Before the Great Deception.
Well, we would collect these Legos, okay, and I don't know. I forgot. At one point, I totaled up all the pieces that I had. I based it on the box that they came in, and like I had all the boxes still, and you just add up all the numbers on the boxes, and there you go. That's how many Lego pieces. That's how rich you are in Legos.
Rich in spirit.
I was pretty filthy rich in Legos. I think I had close to 10,000. I think 10,000 pieces. And I'm pretty sure you were really close to that mark. Ethan was definitely really close to that mark. We were all around this. Like, I mean, this was a life pursuit, essentially.
It was literally like money. It was like, you would barter and trade. And, you had to
trading Legos.
Haggle your existence off of just tiny little pieces
just like
of
people
plastic.
Would trade baseball cards or something. We'd trade Legos.
Right. But I mean, you're not supposed to do that, because then you immediately destroy the value of your set. Unless it's like, let me put it this way: if it's a piece worth trading, then you're gonna have to be prepared to get that piece back somehow, so that you can have a complete set again.
It's all about like what pieces, and sometimes you'd have a couple different pieces of the same variety, and you were willing to give up one of those for something that you didn't have entirely. So. But we would.
What do they call that? Like when you sacrifice you push like the train lever to like run several people over instead of. That's what I thought of just now. Well,
okay.
It's a little bit the same, but just a different context. It's more like morbid.
Yeah, it was. We were just playing with Legos.
I remember the last year that I got Legos was the year that they freaking started doing what I wanted them to do for literally like 6 years, which was Lord of the Rings Legos. Because it was 2012. This is why I remember it was
Lord
2012.
of the Rings.
Because The Hobbit came out in the 2012.
I don't see any of those.
Yeah, they discontinued them. The Hobbit came out in 2012, and they started, a licensing deal with New Line Cinema, probably. I don't know. And
stop talking about it like you know it.
And then they had, Lord of the Rings Legos and the Hobbit Legos, and I was able to pick up a few, but I was past it, and then I was at the point of realizing these are really, really expensive. They had Weathertop. If you don't know what Weathertop is, why are you even here? They had Weathertop.
You are welcome to be here.
You're welcome to stay, of course. But, just next time you see me, which may not be for a while, because I'll have to go
because of
underground.
quarantine.
Right.
Yes. We accept all listeners.
Forget it. Let's just move on from Weathertop. They had Weathertop, and it was like $70 or $60.
It was like 70.
This thing was the size of a softball and a half. It was a large grapefruit. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. It came with 2 ring wraiths, which was just black robes and black faces. Anybody could have made a ring wraith. And
yeah, well, it's like,
of course, Aragorn
as a
was
collector, cool. As a Lord of the Rings fan, I would have enjoyed having Weathertop. I would have enjoyed any Lord of the Rings.
If it wasn't a con.
Okay, now we've established that. Yeah, they are very overpriced now. But again, circling back to it, I think that's the reason, because they're not in as much demand anymore. So
perhaps
price goes up if there's not as much demand. So at least I think.
If you are under the listening sound of my voice and you don't play with Legos anymore, of course, we have not defined the legal definition as of yet. We're going to be consulting Legal Eagle on that.
We'll probably do a
collaboration
Legos
episode with him.
That'll be weird.
So, what is playing with Legos? If you still play with Legos, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm probably going to be joining you soon enough, because I've been planning to rebuild. Keep
rebuild.
Playing. Rebuild. We can rebuild.
We must rebuild from the ground up.
From the scorched earth of... Oh, this is open. From the scorched earth of... This won't close. Legos.
I mean, that's definitely like a nice goal to achieve, is rebuilding all of our Lego sets from back in the day, because we have a lot, and
there were just so many that were very small.
Yeah, it would be interesting, one, to find all the pieces and sort them out of the thousands of Lego pieces that we have, and then 2, I don't know if we have any of those instruction manuals, or let alone boxes that binder. Show like what Legos we had.
I have a whole binder full of instruction manuals.
We probably have a record of most of them, but all of them,
no,
maybe not.
We would have to.
We would have some leftover pieces.
Engineer what sets we had from particularly the minifigures.
Engineering. Now I like it. And that's probably part of the reason why I got into engineering.
Is it? Do you really think so?
I think so.
Does that sound just a little bit contrived to you?
Well, I was always interested in building things. So, because we would take them apart and then put them in the big bin with all the thousands of other pieces. And then from that bin, we'd build all sorts of different things, like castles.
I never did that.
Rockets,
once again, I just built the Legos.
Tanks.
I just built the Legos.
Tubes.
Remember the game? His game we play. The game we used to play.
The game we played.
Where we would set
we
up.
would build these forts. Put our minifigures on them.
And then use like these
one of the
cannons.
Yeah.
The Lego
cannon dart shooter thingies.
That would
yes, very technical.
We try to kill people.
We try to knock them out.
Well, yeah, incapacitate, take them out of the fight, neutralize the threat. We try to.
They were just stationary. They weren't
stationary,
threatening you at all.
We had like a complex system of rules where we decided like you need to have one person exposed, like at least halfway exposed.
Yeah, you
can have one person
exposure factors.
You can have one person who's like
you can
impossible
bunker
to
someone. Get. You could. I remember we could put walls in front of them, but
they had to be made of mega blocks.
Yeah, the structural integrity of those walls needed to be like half that of a normal wall so that you could shoot through the
Right.
wall. And then there were like distance rules where you had to be so far away.
Yeah.
Like,
We made up a whole deal.
Yeah.
And we did it with Mega Blocks, I didn't say, but like that was mostly like Mega Blocks were like the cheap cousin, and I mean there was a couple things that they had. They had Pirates of the Caribbean before Lego had Pirates
those
of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean Mega Blocks, looking back on it, they were pretty awesome.
Yeah, they were super legit. Like
Very detailed.
The Mega Blocks are just very different than Lego. Mega Blocks are like, they do have a higher level of detail. There's a lot more like, it's almost more like action figures that are the size of Legos.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
And like, the building blocks it's less square, rigid, and round, and there's a lot more uniquely molded pieces that are like, available to be just put into a unique set. Like the Flying Dutchman, which I had, which was amazing. Those pieces are literally strewn all about, like, in so many. But I don't even. And I could not even begin.
We
to put
just
that one together.
like went through and like found those boxes just the other day. Remember? And we were like, man, like we were looking at them, like
vaguely.
So
I do that at least once a few, but it doesn't matter. Don't judge me.
Yeah, but the biggest thing that gets me is like when you trade your Legos, like
trading your soul.
Pretty much, because we would have times and we'd trade it, and then all of a sudden we were like, you know what? That was an extremely rare piece, and I should not have traded that away.
I only ever traded away one Lego, and it was a special like sword that I had. Like you said, I had like 6 of them.
Yeah.
And I traded it away for like a quiver, which I had none of. And then the quivers came back in style, and I got like 50 quivers. So
and then you were now.
I was in a net.
What sword was it?
It was like supposed to be like attached onto the end of a stick. It had like the hand clips.
What? Yeah.
It had one of those on the pommel of the grip. If you don't know what the pommel is, watch Forged in Fire, and you'll learn. Plug.
I think what set did that come from?
It was in the castle.
Yeah.
Theme, which
with all
they redid
the unique knights
so many times. Yeah. Well, not the one with the red and the blue and the.
No,
not that. That was that. I don't remember what that one was called. But the one with the red and the blue and the green, that was before. That was the one, the medieval style before, and then they had Castle, and then they had Knight's Kingdom. There were 3 distinct in the era that I was buying Legos.
All
those
medieval
were the
style.
3 distinct medieval styles. Each one they had, then they retired and they started a new one. Then they retired.
Sounds like you're
like
narrating through history. Like first we have the medieval period, and then the Knight's
Renaissance.
Kingdom, the Renaissance.
Never stop playing.
Yeah, listen, Legos are cool. Never stop playing with
They're
Legos.
They're pretty neat. I know. I mean, I'm gonna go, not today because I don't have freaking time, but one of these days.
Why don't you have time? Because you're here doing this.
I'm here doing this.
Obviously.
What else would I be doing? I'm gonna take some time and find some way to build one of them, particularly R2D2. Store it somewhere. Maybe you'll see it on my story.
The
Sop with Kamel. Oh, amazing.
It probably sounds like gibberish to everyone.
World War I plane, super cool looking.
Bi-wing or biplane. I think bi-wing is probably a Star Wars reference.
But never mind. I'm like a bi-wing as opposed to like a straight wing.
It has 2.
What is your
bicycle, unicycle?
I know, but it's just that was what I thought of.
Thanks for telling us your thoughts.
I had to. I mean,
this is dropping hints where we tell you our thoughts. So
whatever that means.
We give advice, and our advice is never stop playing with Legos.
Just as long as it's not contrived. That's all that I care about.
Yeah.
That's all we got for today. We just hung out, talked about some overpriced.
I hope Lego doesn't come back and talk to us. Be like, hey, take this down. Demonetized.
out of the one person still listening.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Lego is gonna find this and just completely obliterate us.
If they do, we'll have Legal Eagle on our side.
We'll have the legal eagle on our side just because we name dropped him now 4 times between the two of us. So
that's good.
Always keep playing with Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you keep them separate, please. Put them in, Ziploc bags.
I think that you can mix them. Mix up your Legos. I subscribe.
Leave a comment down below. Should we mix up or should we sort out our Lego?
Now who sounds contrived?
I know, but it's supposed to. It's it's the contrived YouTuber.
Yes, I know.
Aesthetic.
We all know what you're trying to say. All right, keep playing with those Legos.
It's been nice. Thank you for joining us.